Episode 37, A Holiday by the Beach. Going for a holiday always sparks joy and excitement for many. The sights and smells are a nice fresh break away from what we see back at home every single day. And for some of us, other than the memories that were brought back, souvenirs are another thing that we made sure to get, no matter where we went. But for a girl named Kara, she had more than just souvenirs in her luggage. Kara, unfortunately, brought home a haunting experience that she will never forget. It was nearing the end of the year, and Kara and her best friend Tina had been planning for their holiday for the past few months. It would be their first time to a tropical island, and once there, they did all the tropical weather activities that they could think of. From driving the ATVs on muddy trails to going snorkeling in clear blue waters, Kara and Tina were having the time of their lives away from the cold weather back home. And as they mostly had similar hobbies, they were agreeable to most of each other's plans. Whenever Kara would want to go to a specific activity, Tina was up for it. And when Tina thought of a cuisine that she wanted to try, Kara would be up for it as well. But there was only one thing that they couldn't agree on. It was their beliefs in the supernatural. As she had never experienced it herself, Kara doesn't believe that such things exist, while Tina was a complete believer from the advice she had been hearing since she was a child. This difference in beliefs was merely temporary, as one night's incident changed everything for Kara. It was the last night of their trip when Kara and Tina decided to hang out by the beach cafe to enjoy the final night breeze on the tropical island. As they were sitting on the beanbags and sipping on their drinks, Kara said to Tina, "Hey babe, let's go take a last swim in the waters. The waters look so peaceful, I'm sure it will feel really nice." "Are you crazy? It's already nighttime. There's no way I'm going in the waters," replied Tina. "Don't worry. I know it's a little dark, but we can still see our surroundings. The lights from this cafe will be bright enough," said Kara. "That's not the point, babe. My mom always told me to never swim in the sea at night because that's when the spirits are most active," explained Tina. While chuckling to herself, Kara then said, "Of course she told you that story. She just wants to scare you so that you never play in the waters at night. Not because of actual ghosts, but because it's dangerous for kids to swim in the dark. Well, I believe we should respect the supernatural and do our best to not cross paths with them. So, if you want to enter the water, I'll wait for you here. I'm just going to relax and enjoy my drinks and lay back," said Tina. "Okay, fine, I won't be long," said Kara as she walked across the sandy beach and into the waters. Kara was all alone in the waters, and as she leaned back and floated on the waters while looking at the sky, Kara said to herself, "This is great. It's so peaceful here. The sound of the water, feeling myself floating freely. This feels wonderful." As Kara was still floating, she heard a whisper that said, "I'm glad you're here." The whisper slightly startled Kara as she got up and turned back to see if there was someone behind her. However, seeing that there was no one there, Kara thought to herself that it was probably her own imagination. So Kara laid back down and continued floating before she began swimming for a while longer, before eventually deciding to go back to shore. Once back, Kara then told Tina, "See, I told you it'll be fine. You should have come, babe. It was so relaxing to just float in the waters at night." "Good that you enjoyed yourself, but you'll never convince me to do it," said Tina. Kara just laughed at Tina's persistence and her beliefs about the supernatural before they enjoyed the rest of the night before going back home the following day. A few nights later, Kara felt an odd, tingling numbness. That was when she thought that it might have been the sudden rush of work after resting for almost 2 weeks. Kara then texted Tina, whom she hadn't contacted since their trip, as they both were busy with work. Kara told her about the discomfort she was feeling and asked Tina if she felt it too. However, Tina told Kara that she doesn't feel any tingling numbness, just pure laziness to get back to work. Kara thought that it was probably just her body acting up, and that she might just need a couple more days of rest. However, a couple more days went by, and the same tingling feeling at night gradually became more intense. Kara then tried to go to the doctor the next morning, and after a thorough health checkup, the doctor told Kara that she was physically healthy and that there were no health issues. The doctor merely told her to just slow down with her work and try to rest more. Kara was unsatisfied and still wanted a proper explanation as to why she was feeling that way. That night, as the tingling feeling began to hurt, and as Kara was living alone in her apartment, she wasn't comfortable to be alone that night. So Kara called Tina and said, "Babe, I really feel something is wrong with me, but even the doctor couldn't figure out what it was. Can you come over and accompany me tonight?" Tina then said, "Okay, I'll be there soon. I'm wondering what is making you feel this way, and it's been happening for a few days now. I'm getting worried too." Soon after, Tina came over, and as they hadn't met since their trip, Kara shared with Tina about how she felt every night. The night wore on, and as Kara and Tina were chatting, Kara began to feel it again. Tina could also see that Kara's face turned pale, and her hands began trembling as though she was feeling cold. She felt that it was weird as the heater in her room was on, and it was pretty warm. That was when Tina remembered how Kara swam in the sea on the last night of their trip. She then recalled about what her mom told her about not playing in the sea at night. After recalling this, Tina then asked Kara, "Okay, babe, you gotta be honest with me. I know you don't believe in the supernatural, but I want to know. Did you see or hear anything at all when you were swimming in the sea on the last night of our trip? Be honest, babe." After briefly trying to recall her experience while out at sea, Kara then said, "Oh yeah, now I remember. I thought I heard someone whisper something about being glad that I was there. I turned, but there was no one, so I thought it was just me hearing voices." "Okay, that might have been you hearing voices, babe, but it could also have been a spirit calling out to you," said Tina. "But you know I don't believe in the supernatural, right, babe?" said Kara. "I know you don't believe in it, but what else could it have been? We really need to get help for you," said Tina. "Nah, the doctor said I just needed to rest a few more days, and I will be fine. Let's just go to sleep, okay? If the pain gets worse, I'll wake you up," said Kara. Kara fell asleep later that night on her bed while Tina slept on a mattress beside Kara. While still asleep, Tina was gradually woken up to groaning sounds, which sounded like someone was in pain. As Tina got up, to her horror, she saw Kara asleep, but with her chest seemed to be pulled upwards. Her mouth was wide open and what seemed like water flowing out from it, as though someone who almost drowned but was pulled out of the water in time. But seeing Kara's face as she stayed unconscious made Tina panicked. Tina tried waking Kara up, but it was no use. Tina immediately called up her mom and told her about what Kara was experiencing. Tina's mom then called up a healer friend whom she knew could help, and shortly after, they arrived at Kara's home. Once they arrived, the healer entered Kara's room and immediately said, "It's a water spirit, and she's happy to stay within Kara's body." "Okay, what shall we do now?" said a panicked Tina. The healer got closer to Kara as he began whispering prayers in Kara's ear and wiped her face with spiritual water. This process was repeated for a few minutes before Kara's eyes finally opened. The healer then sat Kara up into a sitting position. He then took a metal jar and placed it in front of Kara's mouth. With a swift push from the back of Kara's neck, a gush of water rushed out and into the metal jar. The healer then quickly closed the jar and said, "It's done now. I will bring this out to sea to return the spirit to where she rightly belongs. Next time, please avoid swimming in the sea at night. You never know what would be waiting for you out there. And Kara is very lucky that the spirit wasn't a nasty one. A nasty spirit would have drowned Kara immediately while she was swimming that night. Kara's face slowly became less pale and her hands gradually stopped trembling. Kara was a little edgy as she wondered what had gone on earlier, as Tina slowly rubbed Kara's back to calm her down. Tina then slowly explained to Kara about what she had seen earlier. Seeing how the situation had calmed down, Tina's mom and the healer left. Tina slept over for the night just to make sure that Kara had really recovered. Both friends slept soundly that night, and Kara never faced the tingling numbness again. It was a traumatic experience for Kara, who now had physical proof that the unexplainable supernatural occurrences do exist. Kara now believed that some things are beyond a human's limitation. And more than just joy and souvenirs, Kara's holiday also brought home a lesson that she will never forget.